Hi guys, it's Hope. So we're editing the videos of the trip that I took to New Orleans. Now, the first one we're going to do is going to be a walking tour of, I think it's the French Quarter. Okay, so what happened was it came down raining like a motherfucker. On the East Coast, I remember in Florida, on the East Coast, all of a sudden you get hail and rain. You can't even see. You can't move in it. It's so stifling. It's so heavy. And then it lasts maybe 20 minutes and clears up. That's how it rains in Florida. Well, Louisiana, it seemed it's the same way. But meanwhile, I called the place that I booked the tour. It's supposed to be a walking, drunken tour. That's not the exact name of it, but what it is, you get intoxicated in each bar as you walk through Louisiana, and you have a walking tour guide telling you all about the city. And you go into bars. I said, wow, that's right up my alley. But it was pouring, so I tried to cancel it. And all I got was flack. You know, the foreigner that talks to you. I would like, yes, ma'am, but you need to go anyway. I said, it's raining, bitch. I know, but you need to show up, at least show up. Why am I going to walk in the rain to show up if it's raining? Anyway, long story short, I was going to lose my $70 because I booked the tour and it's 2 people, it's $70 for the drunken walking tour. Okay, so I went and I didn't see the person. We're supposed to meet at a certain address. I didn't see anybody. I called back the place and I said, you know, I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking for, but nobody's looking for me. So anyways, he'll call out your name. We gave him your name, he'll call out your name. Well, 2 seconds later, I hear Eileen, from this guy that's sitting. I saw him, but I never thought it was him because he was chain smoking like an MFer. He was one after another, but he doesn't drink. What the fuck? Anyway, long story short, I wanted to do an intro to this. It was one of the best tours. In fact, it was the best tour I went on with anybody because it was a 1 to 2. We didn't have anybody else with us. I don't need that. I was so happy because I hate going on tours to the people because you always get an asshole on a tour that has to be the star of the show, you know, and make comments and, oh, look at that. You know, shut the fuck up. But anyway, he and I and the cameraman were the only 3 people on this walking tour. And let me tell you, he explained the history of this city like, Jesus, like a fucking history scholar. I was very impressed. His name is Cody, and you guys are going to hear something really awesome. Thank you. Oh, it's good information.
Have you seen American Horror Story?
No.
Season 3, The Coven, is based on the house here. All the events that happen inside. So it's the first stop we're going to go to, and I'm going to tell you literally the truth of what happened in there, because Hollywood did put their look to this film.
Okay. Just get the scenery. You don't have to have anything.
Cool. I'll walk with you.
Just don't do it.
Cool.
Okay, we're going on a walking tour. It's called a drunken walking tour?
Drunken History Tour?
Drunken history tour. So we're going on a little history tour. And we stop at little bars along the way. Our guide, however, will not be partaking. So he's going to tell us our history without drinking.
Keep recording.
No, only when there's, there's only enough in here.
Where you from?
Vegas, no.
Florida and New York as well.
Yeah, well, New York, and Miami, Vegas. Yeah, he's New York, Vegas. A Florida trip?
I mentioned Florida for you.
Oh. So what section of New Orleans is this? Like what street?
French Quarter.
Still the French Quarter.
Residential side of the French Quarter. This is going to Maple Street. French Quarter is a total of like 7-8 blocks. So it's from Canal to Decatur. From Canal to Esplanade, Decatur to Rampart. It was 7-8 blocks.
And this is, you said, the residential area?
Residential section of the
You can see, that's really nice. Probably expensive, right?
Yes.
What do they run for? The apartments?
Some are apartments, some are homes. Apartments, streets going this way normally average around 2,500. Streets going this way normally average about 35. Except Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street's its own little monster. Normal studios go for about 5,000.
5,000.
Now, the building we will be talking about is the building on the corner. Starts at the garage door all the way to the corner. That is the Delphine Lalaurie Mansion. So a little bit about that building first.
Okay.
That is the largest residential building in the French Quarter. It's a little over 10,000 square feet, over 10 bedrooms inside. Also the first house to have running water in the French Quarter. So now about Delphine Lalaurie.
So how old is it?
I'm not sure when the year it was built, but it was in the, I think it was rebuilt in the mid-1800s.
Wow.
So, a little about Delphine Lalaurie. That is the Delphine Lalaurie Mansion. Delphine Lalaurie came from France. She was married 3 times. First 2 husbands died mysteriously. Not really. She poisoned them. Now, when she gets here, she meets and marries Louis Lalaurie, who was a surgeon, very wealthy. She actually had more money than he did. She came from money, plus got money from the 2 previous husbands. When they got married, they moved into this building. So now a little bit about how cruel this lady was. They were right across the street. She just liked to watch what they did. So she liked to watch the rich and famous. I think today that would be called stalking, right?
Yeah.
So she was stalking. Delphine was actually right up there in the gallery getting her hair brushed by a 7-year-old slave girl. This little girl catches a knot and ripped her head to the side. Delphine gets mad, stands up, chases that little girl to the front of the building. As soon as they rounded the corner, the neighbor said she had no clue what happened. What did happen, that little girl went on the road and died. Police came, first thing they did, questioned Delphine. Delphine was like, look, I got mad. I chased that little girl to the front, but as soon as we rounded that corner, she knew she had nowhere to run. She jumped in fear, landed on her head, and broke her neck. It's not my fault. So then the police asked everyone else around if they heard or saw anything. Everybody said the same thing, though. Didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. I can guarantee she caught that little girl and threw her over. All hearsay, police didn't do anything about it. So they decided to watch this building. It takes them 2 months. They catch her in the act of beating one of her slaves. At that point, the city steps in, takes all of her slaves from her. She had a total of 10 slaves. She got upset. She wrote another letter saying, look, I don't allow it. But New Orleans just stepped in and took all my slaves. Her mother sends a letter back saying, don't worry about it. They're just talking about old laws. Now, the old laws New Orleans is talking about is called the Code Noir. Have y'all heard of the Code Noir?
No.
Code Noir was a set of laws that King Louis XIV wrote in 1685. Pretty much just 47 laws. Law number 1. No Jewish person could be in a French colony. Law number 2 to 47. Mainly all about slavery. Pretty much you mistreat a slave in any colony. The city can step in and take your slaves. Now when I say mistreat, they go for beating them, making them work on holidays, also making them work on Sundays. That was considered a day of worship. A lot of people here in New Orleans thought those laws were in place to protect the slaves. What y'all think? Not a chance. It was all about money. The city would step in and take your slaves, bring them right back to the slave trade. Just resell them. Double, triple their money and more stuff up. Every slave here. That's how New Orleans differed from the rest of the country. Now, 8 weeks after she got that letter, she actually got 20 slaves from her mother. Her mother just basically doubled her up. At this point, the city took notice again and was like, we can't step in and take these 20, but if we do that, they just like to flaunt their money. They'll get 40. We take those, they'll get 80. So they decided just to leave it alone, but did say if they were to do anything else, they would just step in and arrest them. They never got that chance. Now, Queen likely to flaunt her money. She threw parties every weekend, Fridays, Saturdays, even on Sundays. During one of these parties, her kitchen catches fire. Back then, kitchens was separate from the main house. Where the garage door is, that was the kitchen. When that kitchen catches fire, Delphine ran into the main house. Pulled all those partygoers out right here into the street. So now everybody's partying in the street. That's known in New Orleans, no big deal. They sent for the fire brigade. Now, when the fire brigade gets here, they go in their kitchen. First thing they notice, not the fire. First thing they noticed was a 77-year-old slave still chained up inside that kitchen. She can move all about that kitchen, she just could not get out. Fireman asked her why she was still in there. She's like, probably because I started the fire. I'd rather be dead than live here. They were like, look, lady, that makes no sense. These people are rich, nice house. What's the problem? At this point, she said, problem is they actually have a torture chamber on that 3rd floor. I would rather kill myself tonight in a fire than put on that 3rd floor and tortured to death.
Wow.
At this point, they're just thinking she's old and crazy. They start ignoring her. They go ahead and put out this fire. As soon as the fire was put out, Delphine walked in. She's like, look, I'm glad y'all got my fire out, but it is time for y'all to leave. They're like, that's not how this works. You need to go get your husband, come back, answer the question. lady just said she started that fire. We leave now, she'll start another one. She's crazy. But she also made wild accusations about your third floor. So go get your husband and come right back. Delphine said no problem, headed out and went get her husband. She also went get her kids. They all jumped into a carriage and left the city of New Orleans and never to be seen again. Some people say they went back to France with her mother. Other people say they just moved on the outskirts of New Orleans, but nobody actually knows where they went that night.
So she was French.
Yes. Now, the firemen did see them leave. Thought that was kind of odd. Started thinking maybe that lady's not crazy. So they make their way up to that third floor. When they get up there, they find one door with a 4-inch iron gate cover. Ripped that gate down, walked in that room to literally see a torture chamber. There was a room filled with poles. Each pole had someone chained to it. First pole they got up to was a lady physically unharmed. Nothing wrong with her. They decided to save her for last.